All right, we got our list of domain names, right? And I got 96 here, and like I said, I pre-bought them earlier, so they're already resolving properly. Otherwise, you might need to wait an hour or two to actually see them connect to the websites. Although you could continue this process in the meantime, because the process we built doesn't like to wait. Like I say, we automated everything. So we can pre-install everything and wait for the domain names to resolve later. We don't have to wait for them. All right, having said that, what's our next step? We're going to take these domain names and paste them into the next page of this project. By the way, yeah, you'll get, when you're buying it this level, you get a copy of all this stuff so that you can just fill it in. Okay? So we just pasted it in here. So what is this page? This is our command for installing every row, every website. So we're going to say this. I have one or more servers. What's that mean? That means dedicated servers at $1,750 each. Every server I have will have a domain name that goes with the server. So my main server is t2ha.com. That's why on my domain default profile of GoDaddy, when I make purchases, it's set for ns1.t2ha.com, name server 1, and name server 2, which is ns2.t2ha.com. Yeah, they're not very original when it comes to name server names, but that's good. We can remember them. And then if I had other servers, I could even cycle across them. I could install my websites to any set of servers I want. Coolest thing about this is it's built for you to get as big as any industry leader out there. Some of the biggest guys have 5, 10, 20, 2,500 servers, right? If you ever want to get that big, this software already covers you there. There's nothing that has to change about this software to make it possible for you to reach that high up the ladder. Okay? All right. So having said that, this is dummy information, right? I wouldn't really give you my server password. Okay? So this is a dummy file with the list of dummy servers, but to illustrate the point. Okay? You would put in your own information to install to your server. Anyway, here you go. You would paste in your domain names. Then you come out with some cPanel username, very simple format. Make sure it's 7 characters long. I just did garage door repair nationwide, like GDRN, and then I numbered the rest of it, 001. That gave me 7. That way when I drag it down, I can go 002, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and I just dragged all the way down, right? So that's what happened. I just dragged it down. Then I created some password. How do you think you create passwords? Cover your eyes and hit keys on the keyboard, basically. Just shift, some capital letters, some lowercase letters, some numbers. Put them in combinations. And then if you want it to be different too for increased security, make sure it ends in a number so that when you go dragging it down, it auto numbers, right? That's the whole point. Okay? So I went ahead and did that. Now, having said that, let me make sure I get these files back because I've got them all matching. Yeah, I don't think I made any changes. All right, so anyway, having said that, what am I going to do? I'm going to run the command that installs these to my website that creates these cPanels. Okay, and that's what it says. It's going to be command says go to this server, use that password to create this cPanel with that cPanel username and that password. Use our main package. By the way, what's a main package? Well, down here you create packages. Everyone's got a main package of some kind. They're gonna, and I've got a lot of packages, but the one I created first was just called main, M-A-I-N, okay? And that way I can just set how many emails it's allowed to send per hour, some basic settings like that, real simple. So now all the standard websites use that package. All right, so then what? The cPanel needs an email address. Okay, who gets access to it? And if they forgot their password on the cPanel and they hit forgot password, resend link, where does it go? Well, that's this, right? So it either goes to you if you're the webmaster and you're running the websites, or it goes to some other guy if they're paying for access or doing something to earn the access, right? Okay, so do you see how this works? It's going to create the cPanel based on that domain name. Then it's going to create the next one. And like I said, we do not need the domain names to resolve first. We can just do this right away. Okay. So the last step took us what, like 10 minutes? How long do you think it takes us to create this? Well, we have something called software installer. And when I log in the software installer, this is the piece that you get at the $2,500 level, which allows you to install multiple and create multiple cPanels on the fly. So as soon as you have your own server and you have the software installer, you're in business for going this big, because we're already going to include your legacy UAP template, okay? And that means that you can install as often as you want, as big as you want, as many as you want. You can create millions of pages backlinking anyone and make a lot of money. So let's start with step one. After the dashboard, we got set up cPanels, right? Now when I set up cPanels, it wants me to copy that information and paste it in here. I don't want it to generate usernames because I like controlling my names. How do I put that information in here? Do it like this. I just go from one end to the other and copy it, okay? Very simple. Complete with the header row. And I come back and I just paste it in, right? And I hit process the data. And then it's going to double check it all. And that way I can start the installation. Now, as you know, I already said a lot of that is fake information. The only one it knows is real is t2ha.com, but no, that's not the right password. But it did go check and see if these servers existed, and it did it one at a time. How's that for cool? This thing is really working, okay? So now I'm going to do this with real data, okay? And because I'm doing it with real data, okay, I'm going to drag this window to the side for a minute because, you know, I don't want you to see the password, not the real one. Let me go ahead and just process it over here real quick, okay? And it's pre-checking, pre-checking, pre-checking. It's slower because every single one's real. I'll let you know when. It's like more than halfway done, 4/5. Okay, it's done pre-checking. I'm going to start the installation, okay? I always say kind of time these steps, right? Because you know what the industry standard is? You do this manually on the server. My gosh. And if I were to show you what that looks like manually on the server. Oh man. Yeah, let me see. It's about halfway done. Okay, if I were to do this manually on the server, I'd be going and creating these accounts one at a time by copying and pasting this information, then copying and pasting, selecting that from a drop-down, copying and pasting, hitting go and waiting for it, right? And then go to the next. I got to go back to the beginning button and do it again. Okay, we're all done, by the way. We're all done. So I'm going to discard the list and clear the data. Okay, there we go. We're all done. What's that mean? If I refresh this page right now, should go from 141 to what, like 96 more? 237. And it's got like my garage door repair. Watch this setup date. Let me just turn it to where we are right now. You can see it. See how many it installed per minute? Okay. So instead of doing it manually, right, it's just wham, 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 and it's done. Again, think bigger. We have tools for doing bigger. Okay. If I were to do this manually, what would it be like? Create a new account. I'm waiting for the page to load. Can you believe that? I'm waiting for the page to load. I mean, yeah. This is how long it would take. I got to put the domain in. Let me copy it. I'm just showing you. This is the industry standard. This is how most people do this. I've got to put in my username of choice, my password of choice, and repeat it. And I'm going to put in the email I want. And I'm going to scroll down and choose main. And then the rest of the settings are fine. I'm going to hit go. And about 5 seconds later, it exists. You see how hard that is and how much room for error there is? I could make mistakes. I may have hit this wrong button because I was in a rush. I may have put in the wrong email from somebody's other row. I may have not overwritten this when I meant to, or accidentally had a space in there that I didn't see, and I'm wondering what the heck it's talking about, right? Do you realize how much trouble that can be? That's the point. Who wants to do it like that? No one. Nobody at the top of the game does this stuff manually. That's why you want to grow into this. If you're at all interested in getting rich in this arena, you do it with automation because you're cheaper. If it takes the next guy how many hours to set up 100 websites? Really, think about it. Going through that cycle, what can he do? 2 a minute? So it'll take him 45 minutes at least to do what I just did in a minute or two. How much does he cost per hour? 60? You know, website guy, right? 45? Okay, so it would cost 30 bucks for someone to set all that up. But I just set it up in a minute. Okay, that's called competitive. All right, everything we do is like that now. Okay, that's the end of this video. You get the point. We went ahead and created, 96 CPanels so that we can install websites to them. And we created all those CPanels in like a minute. And we have our records in Excel. See, because it's all laid out here, I'm done with that part. I can just move on to the next step. So the next step's what we'll cover next. Really easy and really cool. All right.